Hello, fourth grade and beginner orchestra students and families. It's Miss Peterson, and I wanted to make a video today about how to make a smooth, rich sound. I also want to take this opportunity to say our concerts are about 3 weeks away from right now. So Cottage Grove Elementary, we've got our concerts on Thursday, December 8th, 1:45 and 7 p.m. Be at both of them. Middleton students, our performances are going to be Tuesday, December 6th, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Be there for both of them. Okay. Well, how to make a smooth, rich sound? There's a lot of parts that go into it. You'll notice I've got 4 big steps listed up here of how to actually do that. And then in red down here, here's kind of a guide of if you have a sound that is not smooth and rich, if you have a chunky sound, a breathy sound, a harsh sound, we'll talk about how can I make a little bit better sound, or take a quick look on here. Okay, our basic ideas. We want to make sure that our bow is ready, that it's tightened, and that we have rosin on it. So I'm going to take a quick look over here. My bow guide. When my bow is resting in the case, it should be loose. You see my picture up there? The hair is kind of loose. It's close to the stick. If I show you on here, I'll show you on mine. So I've got the hair is close to the stick. You can tell in the middle. The hair might look like it's separating a little bit. To get it ready to play, I am going to turn the screw that's on the bottom of my bow, this part right here, I'm going to turn that righty-tighty about 5 times. Okay. We want to get it so tight that it looks like kind of like this. I'll show you in a moment with my real bow, but that we've got the stick it's not totally straight. There's still a little curve, but the hair is pulled tight. I'll show you how to do the pencil check. We do not want it to look like a rectangle inside. The stick should not be totally straight. It should also not bubble away from the hair. That is too tight and it can hurt your bow. So let's get our bow ready. I'm going to hold onto my bow. I usually hold it with my left hand. With my right hand, I'm going to turn it. Again, I'm going righty-tighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I'm turning it the way that a clock turns. Okay, it's going to look, for violins, violas, and cellos, a lot like this. You can take a pencil, slide that pencil through, and in the middle, there is a little bit of room for that pencil to kind of bounce up and down. If it looked kind of like this, there's there's a lot of room. That is too tight. You need to go lefty-loosey to get it back to the perfect spot. If the pencil gets stuck in the middle, or anywhere, like if you'd have to push it to get through, your bow is too loose, okay? It's really getting stuck over there. So I'm gonna get that a little bit tighter, okay? So my bow is almost ready for rosin. How much do I need to rosin? Great question. Here's how much. So you grab your rosin block. All of them look a little bit different. Basically, violins, violas, and cellos, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, just sliding your bow straight across. Mine is kind of old, so I have a deep groove. Yours might be really flat, so just 4 times up and down. And that's usually good for about an hour of playing. So if you're practicing an hour a week, then rosin your bow once a week. Maybe when you get to lessons, that's a good time. Okay, so my bow is ready to go. I've tightened it. I put rosin on. Now I've got to get my best bow hold. By the way, rosin for basses. We just hold our rosin. It's a kind of a sticky chunk, and we're just going 1, go back to the frog, and go 2 and 3. That's usually enough with your rosin, but you should hear it kind of squeaking off. Now, best bow hold. We've talked about making kind of a llama shape for violins, violas, and cellos, where we have a llama that has some long front teeth, and if you can either build your bow hold at the balance point. We marked them on most all bows. Okay, so our thumb goes here, and it's smiley, curvy like that, and then my 2 other long teeth are gonna wrap around like that. Okay, so then it's like you have a critter that has 2 ears, And next up, you're going to turn your hand so that now your pointer finger is going to lean onto the stick. Can you see that? So I went from just my ears like this. I'm going to tilt my hand, and then my pinky is going to rest on top. On the other way, it looks like this. I've got my ears tilt, kind of wrap around. My pinky is balancing on top. A lot of people will end up doing this. If your pinky is curled up, I can guarantee you are not going to get your best sound. So check. A pinky check means, for violin, viola, and cello, is my pinky looking like this, balancing on top. If you want to do it down at the frog, you're just going to slide your hand down until the thumb reaches this part of your stick that is just above the frog. Wrap those fingers around. If you have an eye on your frog, your ring finger will cover that up. So do the same thing. Wrap those fingers, tilt, and pinky balance on top. If you play bass, we do it a little bit different. Our fingers, we're going to make a chair for our bow. These fingers wrap around up here, and then we put our thumb, we'll start with our thumb first, and then make kind of a chair that your bow could rest in, like this. Again, we do not want our pinky wrapping all the way around, because that will turn our bow hold into this. If your bow is becoming a continuation, like it's making a super, super long pointer finger, you've lost a lot of power and you're not going to get a very good sound most of the time. So here we go. Our best bow hold. I'll do that one more time. So thumb check. It's all smiley like that. And pinky check. My pinky is balanced. Best instrument posture. Wow, I am super good at this after playing for many months as a 4th grader. Okay, so we're starting, I'm sitting tall. My instrument is up. I can go like that with no hands touching. And I do not have my scroll pointing down. This is a big thing when we're starting with our bow. Because if our scroll's pointing down, now our bow might be sliding down like this. We really don't want that. So my instrument, I have my best posture, my best bow hold, and I'm connecting the dots. Can you see the dots? Right here, right here. So my bow is right in the middle. Okay, and then 3 other little things. Check. Are you balanced on one string right now? I'm gonna balance on my A string. I'm playing the violin right now. And so I've balanced on one string. I'm gonna use a long bow. And here's the sound that I want. This is a smooth, rich sound. So you can get a smooth, rich sound on any string. It doesn't matter how high or low your instrument is, if you've got a violin, viola, cello, or bass. But we want to hear that, like, we've got that, the smoothness of it and the richness. So one more time, here is smooth, rich. Did you notice that my bow is staying really straight and it's like staying in one spot? That's a really big thing too that can help out. So I want to take a moment to talk about some of these things that can be tricky sometimes when we are using our bow. If your sound is kind of chunky, now here's what a chunky sound sounds like and often looks like. This is a chunky. Chunky and that's just not our greatest sound. Usually all we've got to do, lighten up your bow. Don't press down so hard. Use a longer bow. So if I want some crunchy, no more of that. Let's lighten up. And don't use 2 inches. Use like 5 or 6. Okay. Now, the second one up here is breathy. If you have a breathy sound, your bow is not quite catching the string. It might sound like this. Breathy or surfacey. With this one, the big idea is let your bow sink in a little bit more. Let your arm feel heavier on the string. I don't want you to think of pressing down, but just a heavier arm, going from breathy to smooth and rich. Okay. The last kind of icky sound that I've got up here is a harsh sound. Now this one, you might be doing the right stuff of balancing the weight of your bow and the inches of your bow, but maybe your bow is it's traveled into some spots it shouldn't go. The big idea, check if your bow is connecting the dots and check if you've got your best bow hold. You'll see, even if I use, let's see, good weight and good inches, but not a great bow hold. Now I'm doing this bow hold right now, which is not a good one. That's not my best bow hold. That makes my bow go crooked, no matter what instrument you play. So check for your best bow hold. I do the pinky check is a really big one that your fingers are wrapping around. Okay, and then connect the dots. Voila, it's almost like magic. If you can memorize those tricks as you play. If you hear some of these sounds, if you hear like a not great sound from your instrument, see if you can identify. Do I get a chunky sound? Is it breathy? Is it harsh? Here are some things to help. I hope you had a great time learning how to make a smooth, rich sound on your instrument. See you next time.